Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso at thewatchbox.com. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see here on our channel, our website, or our social media. Reach out to me directly, tmosso at thewatchbox.com. And today we're discussing the latest version of Grand Seiko's titanium spring drive diver. This is the Grand Seiko SBGA231. In grade 5 titanium, the timepiece is 4.2 millimeters in diameter by 14 millimeters thick by 50.4 millimeters lug-to-lug. If you add the solid end links to the bracelet, then 53.3 with the spacing between the lugs of a broad for Grand Seiko 22 millimeters. So this is a watch that looks good on the wrist, being broad but not excessively thick. It sits fairly low for a diver this complex, and as you can see, there is a camber or curve to the case, so this isn't a strong straight lug form that thrusts out over the edge of your wrist and looks awkwardly malproportioned. If you're borderline for this watch, which I would define as about 14 centimeters circumference, it's still going to look good because of the curve of the lug that drapes around your wrist. Now, all in titanium, bracelet, clasp, and case, the watch really is very light. So eyes closed, the perception is that this is more like a 39-40 millimeter watch. It feels that way, and thanks to hypoallergenic titanium, if you have a problem with nickel and standard steel, this is going to be the hookup. As you can see, this is a nicely finished watch. It uses polished intermediate, staggered link alignment, and then differential finish satin and polish. There's a lovely little transitional bevel on the edge of the links, and their outer faces, as you can see, have been satinated, even as the bevel itself is of high polish. Now, this being a Grand Seiko bracelet in titanium, you're going to need a block and a punch to do your sizing, but you have plenty of incremental adjustment built into the clasp, so you really don't need to do much sizing. You have a lot of incremental slider, and this can be pulled out all the way for use over a dry suit or a wetsuit, or you can use it for sizing on the go as your wrist changes size with activity. Now, the nice thing here is that this can be used while the watch is still on the wrist. You can make those adjustments. So if you are changing the size in a marine environment, you're not going to drop your watch over the ocean. Thoughtful. The bracelet perhaps has a little bit too much companionship from this clasp, which frankly is over-engineered. This clasp steals the show. You can see in addition to the slider, there are 4 divots drilled, so you can change the anchoring point of the bracelet. There are 2 triggers. There's also a clamshell locking system, so this thing is staying shut. That's an awful lot of apparatus for one bracelet, but I have to say, all things considered, you'll be glad you have it, and this is what I mean. You could still adjust the size while the clasp is closed. So rolling over the case, this is something I love about Grand Seiko. When you're getting their Zaratsu tin plate polish, you're getting a hand-finished case, and this watch is not priced exorbitantly, even new, which is to say, Grand Seiko offers you a hand-finished watch for a fraction of what the Swiss would propose for the same level of quality and detailing. The tin plate polishing, which Grand Seiko calls Zaratsu, is executed on Zalitz machines by eye-hand coordination and craft knowledge. This trade, which takes about 3 years to learn, involves mirror polishing the case, and you can see from side to side, angle to angle, facet to facet, it's millimetrically precise and identical. All of this achieved manually. It takes skill to make this case. There's a small amount of satin for contrast, and then you can see there's a screw-down crown with shear guards. The bezel has a wonderful combination of silky glide and sharp ratcheting detent. Let's have a listen. I would say Grand Seiko, more than any other brand, has managed to duplicate Rolex's alchemy, creating something that is sharply ratcheting, mechanical, machine-like, and at the same time seems to glide with a fluid grace, almost as if mounted on silk. So this bezel feels great, it sounds great, and it's 120 clicks, so you can place it with precision. Part of Grand Seiko's philosophy is to make stuff tough. So this is an ADLC coating, and the applique in diamond-like carbon is very, very hard, but it's not ceramic. So while it can chip, it can't shatter. So that's the thinking behind this bezel architecture. Now, getting close, you can see the dial is a matte finish to resist glare. There's an AR coating on the underneath the sapphire, and you can see that the bezel is raised slightly over the sapphire to act as a heat shield to protect it from impact. All of the indices are applique, which is impressive in a watch at this price point, and there are a few unusual elements, including a sharp Rayhot or chapter ring that allows you to read laterally from an angle, and on your wrist, the minutes as well as the seconds. You can see they're designed to be read laterally, and they're almost vertical in orientation. At center, we have an uncommon use of a cathedral hand on a dive watch. You can see for the hours, there's a broad arrow for the minutes, and then there's a lovely counterweighted lollipop-style lume dot for seconds. There's a power reserve indicator. The watch does have a 72-hour, 3-day power reserve, and note the use of satin on top of the hands to resist glare but ensure contrast against the base. You will appreciate the fact that caliber 9R65, the spring drive caliber, inside of this watch. I'll do my best to show you the case back, though it may be solid. This 200-meter water-resistant watch has a spring drive caliber, which means the watch is incredibly precise. Spring drive is quartz precision with mechanical soul. There are no batteries, no capacitors, no motors, and the smooth sweep of the seconds hand is unique to spring drive. So the watch is plus or minus 15 seconds accurate per month, 30 joules, watchmaker made, watchmaker assembled, watchmaker serviced, and a lifetime movement. It features hacking seconds and a quick set date. Email tmosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details. The blazing Grand Seiko spring drive diver by night.